cinnamon buns, sticky buns, all the buns. Bun fun. Buckle up. This is a good one. By now, you're a sourdough master with a full understanding of how a starter works. You've already primed your starter 5 hours ago to be ready for this recipe, so we're just gonna get right into it. Both of these recipes have the exact same dough to begin with. What makes them different is going to be their fillings and finishings later on, so we'll get to that. But for right now, I wanna focus on a little something I like to call brioche. We've all heard it before. What does it really mean? Brioche is really just referring to an enriched style of dough. What does that mean? Has it got a little money bags to them? No, not like that at all. An enriched dough is a style of dough that has been enriched with some sort of fats, sugars, and other delicious, delectable things. This dough obviously has sugar because it is a sweet dough, but it also has a fair amount of butter and eggs to it, therefore deeming it enriched. I used to be a chef de partie at Bouchon Bakery in Rockefeller Center, and this is something that I used to make every single day. Not sourdough, though. We just used commercial yeast for that. But we're gonna use sourdough today, not only to leaven our pastries, but to also give them an incredible extra little twang taste that you wouldn't normally get with commercial yeast. So for our brioche, we have 715 grams of flour. I did about 150 grams of bread flour, about 15 grams of whole wheat flour, and then the rest of the way of AP flour. 200 grams of whole milk, 300 grams of our ripe sourdough starter, 6 eggs, 72 grams of white sugar, 16 grams of kosher salt, and then 286 grams of room temperature butter. Unlike our country loaf, we need to use a mixer for this. We really need some solid gluten development here. We have a lot of factors like fats and eggs and stuff. We really need to make sure this is all homogeneous and being kneaded together. You will be using a dough hook for this recipe. Excellent. So I'm going in with my starter. Make sure you get all of it in there. Our cold milk, sugar, and of course, our flour. I like to do this separately rather than when it's on the machine. That way I'm not losing flour and stuff all over the place. Dough hook. Just like that. Pop her up. Boom. Give this about 2 minutes to fully come together. If you're noticing the hook might not be picking up the contents on the bottom, stop the machine, give it a scrape, and then continue. Once the dough looks shaggy, you have like these nice coarse pieces in here, like this. We're gonna add our eggs. Now, it's important you add these eggs one at a time. We need to make sure the dough is taking all of the eggs, and we do that by doing it one at a time. If we did too many at once, it'll be sloshing all over the bowl. It won't evenly take all of the eggs, and then we risk over kneading our dough as well, even though that we'll be kneading it extra later on. I always like to crack them into a separate container first, therefore if we get any shells, we can pick them out, or if you get a bad egg, you're not ruining all of this. What's a bad egg? Sometimes you have like a little blood in your egg or some weird brown spots, or maybe there's 2 yolks. You want complete control when you're baking, so we are only going to do this one at a time. Once your eggs are fully incorporated, we can add our salt. We're gonna put this on medium speed and allow this to mix until the dough starts to really form around the hook and pull around the sides of the bowl. It's gonna take like 8 minutes or so. This is about halfway there. This is about 3 minutes. So our dough is now at a point where we can start incorporating the fat. All I wanna do right now is just scrape down the sides, make sure everything is getting evenly hit. While the mixer is running on low, we're gonna take our room temperature butter and piece by piece, drop it in. I'm not adding more butter until the previous butter is completely gone, or like 90% gone. This is gonna take time. This isn't, oh, 30 seconds, I added my butter. This is gonna take like 2-3 minutes. So our butter's been in and this has been beating at medium speed for about 8 minutes or so. Let's see if we're there. So what you wanna do is you wanna take a little piece of dough, pull it out, and stretch it. If you could stretch a nice thin window without it breaking too quickly, you're in good business. So again, we'll take a piece, we'll stretch it. Needs a little bit longer. Look at that, look at that, look at that. I'll take it. I have a lightly oiled bowl here that we're gonna go right into. Wrap this nice and tight. We're gonna let this rock out on our counter for about 1.5 to 2 hours. Then we'll do a fold, wrap it again, and then we'll do an overnight proof in the fridge for about 16 hours. Our brioche has been proofing for about 2 hours. I've done one fold so far. We're gonna do another fold right now, but I actually wanna split this dough into two. Again, we're gonna be making cinnamon buns and sticky buns. I doubled this recipe for that purpose. It was just easier to do all of this at once in a whole. So I'm gonna split this in half. Now, if you're making sticky buns or cinnamon buns at home, the recipe provided is already for a single batch. Double that if you wanna do 2 of them, but again, you won't have to do this step. I'm just doing it right now. So for our sticky buns, we're going to be baking them in a 9x9 deep baking dish. Next, we're gonna make the goo that goes on the bottom of our sticky buns. This is essentially a caramel that is going to cook into the buns, and then when we invert it and flip it, it's gonna be like runny, sexy, delicious caramel goo. You're gonna love it. So we're gonna pour our mix right into our pan. Nice, just like that. And then we're gonna take all of our pecans and just kind of throw our pecans right in, just like this. Flour your board. Again, we wanna maintain that shape. Next, I have some softened butter here. So for the filling, it's literally the same exact thing for the cinnamon buns. We got white sugar, brown sugar, and some cinnamon and salt. Evenly spread that in the middle here. There we go, spread this all around. I have an orange, I'm just gonna zest right on top. I want a little bit of that orange zest, some brightness in there. Plays really well with these fall flavors. I also have a little bit of nutmeg, we'll grate right on top of there too. Cardamom would go really well here. This dough is so soft and lovely. Getting to the end here, make sure everything is tight. Pop our buns right in on top of that pecan mix. So just like our cinnamon buns, we're gonna cover these with plastic wrap and let them proof at room temperature for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, just until they've doubled in size. So our cinnamon buns are ready to go. Let me show you what they look like. These guys, they were a little small, these two here. That's totally fine. Everything else, you see how they're all now starting to touch? That's what we're looking for. These are great looking buns. We're going in a 350-degree oven for about 25-30 minutes. It's important to note, this is going in the middle rack. Nothing goes on top. With all the sugar that we have going on, it's more prone to burn, so put them in the middle rack. So 30 minutes later, these are our buns. Look how amazing those came out. We're gonna wait about 15 minutes before we glaze them. So you can frost them earlier, but if you put the icing on them too soon, it's more of a glaze. It's gonna start to kind of melt and get very thin on you. That's okay, some people are into that. I personally like more of a frosting situation, which you would then need to wait until they are completely cooled. We're gonna wait like a little happy medium, maybe like 15-20 minutes, then apply our icing, and they should be delicious. Okay, so like for the best part of these cinnamon buns, we need to make the frosting. Now there's like a few routes you can go here. You could do like a classic glaze, which is just like confectionery sugar and some milk. I don't know what it is about it. Of course I do, it's all the fat. I really like the cream cheese frosting. So I have some cream cheese here and a little bit of butter. Now you can easily do this in a KitchenAid, but I just got one of these, so we're gonna use this. Ooh. So really, you just wanna make sure the butter and the cream cheese are homogeneous. This is going to happen easiest if everything is the same temperature. You need it room temp. Next, we're going to add some powdered sugar. Just a touch. You can always add more, you really can't subtract. I don't know what it is, but when you got this nice cream cheese frosting, against the warm bun and a little bit of orange zest. Ooh, wakes you up, baby. That's delicious. You could totally omit this, it's not a big deal. And do a happy little mix of both the orange zest, come on, bitch, and a little bit of vanilla bean paste. You want to really smooth out any lumps. I said you want to really smooth out any lumps. That's the consistency you want. A little ribbony, nice and soft. That is insane. The orange and vanilla, bam! These buns are nice and like room temp. Very appropriate to put some icing on. I like a lot of icing. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. See what I did there? Should I have taken them out of this before I did this? Yeah. Yeah, definitely should have. Oh my God, with the sticky bottom? Are you kidding me? Do you see this? Do you see this? Look at that. Look, marvel at this. Now let's see how the inside is. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. Look at how soft and pillowy. These are stupid. So this might actually be the best cinnamon roll I've ever had. I'm not hyping that up. I surprised myself. I'm sitting here in shock speaking to all of you right now. It's got heft, it's soft, it's pillowy. The butter on the bottom, you see how glossy that is? Perhaps like the most impressive part, look at the bottom. Unbelievable, unbelievable. These are our sticky buns. They smell outstanding. We're gonna wait about 10 minutes just for the caramel to kind of set a little bit before we invert them onto a sheet tray. So I'm just going to like slightly loosen them from the sides. Ready, 1, 2, 3, huzzah! Boom. Ooey gooeys. So as always, learn from my mistakes. You see how this is a little bit thin? Still delicious. Probably should have had this cool a little bit longer. Could have gone probably an extra 5 minutes. We would have gotten a thicker caramel. Either way, these smell outstanding. Let's dig into them. Look at that, still hot. These are so good. You get like this wonderful caramel coming in right there. Do you see that? They remind me of like a butterscotch on the bottom. Cinnamon, sticky, it really doesn't matter. You can't go wrong with sourdough buns. They're soft, they have this incredible deep taste that doesn't just like taste like a cloud. Does that make sense? The dough is like super springy and soft, but durable. It can withstand a caramel. It can withstand a nice thick frosting. I mean, these are two solid recipes. Either one you choose, you're not gonna go wrong.